Elkins, and welcome to a time of holy human stuff. I'd like to share a definition of stuff that is not as well known as some of the others that you might think of, like the stuff you're made of. It's a conversation of stuff when you're talking about the kind of material that is used in a trade, such as carpentry. An expression, if you are a carpenter, you would be acquainted with is quarterstuff. But I'd like to share stuff today, stuff that has been repaired. And the reason that it has great value is there are those who have reflected on the role of repair in the human identity. The fact that we seem to be impelled to use and then repair those things that were broken, or at least that was assumed to be what human identity consisted of. We were homo reparans. We were always trying to repair either the world or ourselves or stuff. And I have two examples I'd like to share, both of them with their own stories and histories. Now this comes from a tradition of using these scoops that are made by hand to ladle out grains. And it would be this kind of scoop that my grandparents used when they had their own grocery store, or the kind of scoop that would have been used when you had hay and seed ready to be fed to animals. It is not designed for necessarily beauty, but for utility. Its purpose is to, in fact, function well. And so whoever made this, and it is quite old, carved it out of one piece and apparently used it well. You can see the glow and the worn spaces. And then it began to split. Now, what I know about whoever made this, or whoever then inherited this, because it is a piece of inheritance, it has lasted more than one lifetime, they decided, rather than toss it away and make it again, rather than try to buy a new one, to repair it. Across this broken divide, which would have in fact destroyed the scoop and its ability to work, someone long ago attached two handcrafted pieces of iron to hold this tool together. Whoever made this had a gift not only of carpentry but also some blacksmithing. And so this became not only an object that could be used for one lifetime, but the stuff of another, to go from ladling grain to standing perhaps in a corner as a form of reminder of that humans are to be, in fact, repairing humans. But this comes out of an ethic of virtue that may, in fact, be in decline. Maybe this is evidence that human nature is changing. There was once what you would call the rule of frugality, shaped in stories that come to us from New England or then widespread during the Great Depression. That if you had to deal with stuff, you used it up. You made it do. You fixed it. you made it last. And if you couldn't do any of those things, then you did without. It's very different in a disposable world. If it breaks, pitch it. So what sense do we make of this kind of stuff? I direct your attention to another form of repair. This is one of the earliest ways in which a child in your great-grandparents' generation would have learned to write. This is, in fact, the equivalent of a computer screen now. Chalkboard, an individual chalkboard, your very own screen that you made or was made for you out of a piece of slate and then lined with wood to hold the slate in, and you had then chalk and your very first letters of being able to write, and the sentences and the notes you would pass were written here. And what I love about this particular repair job, this task of repairing humans, is that someone took their shoelaces, a child's shoelace, and bored holes and wove the lace of their shoe all around the edges. So this repairing reminds us that which we have been given the power of language and speech, that which we have been handed, traditio, that which we have been given to believe, requires not only that we inherit it, but that we preserve it, that we use the stuff of our lives, that which holds our lives together, even the shoestrings, to preserve that inheritance, that gift of language. A far cry from a computer screen, and yet this is the place where the Word became flesh. This is the way a child learned the ABCs not only of language but life. And this is the reminder to ourselves and who we are, that when something in us breaks, when the stuff begins to come unraveled, don't throw it away. Bind it together. Repair the world, and the way it's repaired, as the Jewish Mishnah reminds us, is through acts of kindness that hold that which is separate, that which is broken, together. Repairing the world. A gift that holy human stuff can teach us.